This is the brand new ritual weapon that you can earn from either doing Gambit, Vanguard, or Crucible. You're going to unlock it once you hit rank 16, and in this video I want to talk about if it's worth it. So right off the bat, this is the Resounding. This is going to be an aggressive frame strand fusion rifle. Now aggressive frames might sound weird because there really aren't any in the game. The only one we have ever had came from Beyond Light, but they actually received a lot of changes this episode. So I'll pull everything up on screen here so you can see what they changed, and as you see, it is quite a lot. Some people thought that this was going to perform like Bastion since it mentioned having 3 bursts of 4 pellets, but I'm here to tell you that it's not how it works at all. In all honesty, if you haven't used the aggressive frames a lot, you might load in, shoot it, and be like, what did they change? And honestly, I don't blame you for that. But in reality, to make a long story short, it basically just acts like Delicate Tomb now. If you already knew how Delicate Tomb worked, it basically was like one of these fusion rifles, except it actually felt good to use. Well, that is basically just how all these legendary ones are going to work now. But with that being said, is a legendary Delicate Tomb really that good? Sure, Delicate Tomb is popping off this season with a bunch of arc synergies and buffs that it did receive, but will that transfer over to something like a legendary? So this is Resounding, and these are the perks that it has. So small bore, particle repeater, subsistence in the first column, and then cornered, and then hatchling and a reservoir burst. Now its origin traits is Vanguard's Vindication, One Quiet Moment, Gun and Run, everything you probably have already expected from these ritual weapons. But it is nice that it does have Vanguard's Vindication, because I think Bungie wants us to play into this with an ad clear setup. So I've tested things like hatchling and cornered, and in all honesty, they just aren't really worth it. Maybe cornered in some sort of DPS situation, but I don't really think that's how Bungie wants you to use these things. I've tried doing single target damage on things like champions and master law sectors, and they just feel kind of okay in my opinion. Like, it's not anything crazy. But when it comes to ad clear, having that horizontal burst that's actually consistent now, it actually feels pretty nice. Now I'm not even gonna try to hype this up because it's definitely not the greatest thing in the game, but when you pair reservoir burst and subsistence, you can actually have this somewhat pseudo strand Delicate Tomb constantly ad clearing over and over again. Now with that being said, do you really want to use your special ammo just specifically for ad clear when we also have other options like area denial grenade launchers in the game? And in my opinion, I don't think so. This is given heavy loaded question fobs, and when that weapon came out back in the day, it actually was pretty good, but as times went on and how the meta in the game has just shifted, weapons like that really don't see the light of day anymore, and you can kind of throw that one into the same category. With Transcendence, we have crazy ability spam now. We have primary weapons that can ad clear arguably better than this, and I don't really foresee myself wanting to take something like this unless I just kind of want to nerf myself in a way. Sure, with Reservoir Burst, it can ad clear very well, but also one Consecration or Lightning Surge melee can also do the exact same thing, and you can get them back extremely quick. And being that this is a special weapon, if you want to use it all the time, you are going to have to take advantage of Special Finisher, because with Reservoir Burst, you only can use basically that top shot, and once you run out of reserves, you're not going to get this buff anymore, so you really have to play around getting a bunch of special ammo to really make this thing viable. Unfortunately, this does just seem like a relic of the past, and if they ever become some sort of DPS meta, there's also a better option out there for that as well. If you don't know, this is the Cruris FR4. This is a world drop arc Omelon fusion rifle that is also an aggressive frame, but as you see, it can get perks like Clown Cartridge and Elemental Honing. So if these ever do become some sort of DPS meta, most people are probably going to go farm for this one because it obviously has way better DPS perks with a magazine increase and a damage increase, whereas this, it's just the first burst, and they really want you to play into ad clear because of subsistence. But anyway, though, that is my review for the Resounding. I think it is going to get a resounding it's pretty good. Like, if you go get it, you'll probably get around 100 kills with it, throw it in the vault, and realize that other stuff is just better. But who knows, maybe somebody will figure out that aggressive frames are very strong in some sort of situation, and then we could pull this thing back out the vault. But I think we will all be patiently waiting for that day to come. And again, I don't want to say this is bad if you do enjoy it, because it is an okay fusion, but since it is a strand fusion, it is competing with things like Scatter Signal or even Riptide in that top slot, and I think 9 times out of 10 you're probably going to choose those. Anyway, so if that's going to do it all for me, let me know what y'all think about the Resounding in the comments below. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and I hope y'all have a great day. Peace.